So hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a monumental moment. There's certain cars in this industry which are truly iconic. As the title of this video would suggest, none more so than the car we're about to drive right now. Behold, finally, the new Porsche 992 GT3. And I think what's fascinating about this, looking back over the years of all of the GT3s that have launched, this one seems to have been teased and dragged out the longest. We've seen it testing on the ring, we've seen it in mule guise under lots of camouflage, and now here it is. Now, given the current circumstances, Porsche literally said to me, turn up at Bedford Autodrome at this time, the car will be here for you, hop in and off you go. And sure enough, it's just me, the car and the keys, so let's not hang around, crack on with it. It is a track-biased road car after all, and off we go. Well, first of all, brakes. Absolutely incredible throttle response. Seriously, that front end turn-in is now getting like sort of obnoxiously good. Front end is bonkers. And it still has that classic Porsche where it loves the trail braking, it loves the weight on the nose. And my God, can you put it on with these brakes? Just phenomenal braking performance. Gearbox is... we're not even a full lap yet. And I'm already... there you go, that was a full lap. Yeah, I'll take 2. Just... what a thing. The way you can get on the gas is absolutely outstanding. Change of direction, just monumental. These are Cup 2s. Change of direction of the chassis is just the most remarkable thing, and the balance of it as well when you I'm still braking a bit early for this thing. It's absolutely remarkable the traction it's got. Adjust it mid-corner on the throttle without it wanting to rotate on you. You know, there's still signatures of that classic 911 mass but the engine and weight is predominantly out of the back. But when you lift off a little bit with the throttle mid-corner, it doesn't want to completely rotate on you, it's just there for you. Good Lord. Yeah, there's the brakes. By the grace of ceramic, this thing stops. The direction change. The direction change is absolutely outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can conclusively say they've gone and done it again. We'll ignore the fuel warning for now. It's, I mean, this isn't the RS product. They do it every time, don't they? I don't know how they do it, but every time I get into a GT product, I'm like, where do we go from here? And then they bring out an RS version, and you're like, how does that thing wear number plates? This, to me, feels like a Gen 2 991 Weissach RS. That's what this feels like. And this isn't wearing the Cup 2Rs. This is wearing the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s. Honest. This track really puts the car through its paces. There's some pretty uneven areas which will unsettle the car, but it sort of laps it up. You can really feel that motorsport DNA in this thing as it rides through the bumpy sections and the curbs. And the change of direction, that's the biggest thing for me, is the front end on this. And I'm sure it's a massive combination of both. The new front end, effectively, the revised tyres have been specifically developed for this car, and I think there's a massive synergy here between these tyres and the front double wishbone suspension with rose joints. What that effectively allows for is a much more consistent and wider amount of tyre contact patch adhering to the surface of the track more of the time, particularly under cornering. So as you're going through the corners, providing you've got a little bit of nose end trail braking on this, which is, you know, if you're used to driving a 911 on a track, that's what these things like. If you drive it like a 911 GT3, it then rewards you with almost another 20% of grip and dynamics and traction and agility that you wouldn't have previously had in another GT3. I'd go so far as to say the front end on this is better than a Weissach Gen 2 RS, and we're not even on Cup 2Rs. I mean, plenty of... It's fascinating seeing this. In fact, I'm just going to turn this on and wind over the wheel. So this is where it all happens. So, I mean, I'm quite familiar when I take my GT3 on track, which is 991 Gen 2 manual GT3. And it does a very good job of taking care of its tyres, but the biggest difference for me in terms of feeling is, and this obviously coming from the revised double wishbone, is when you're going through the really tight stuff that you would conventionally in previous 911s be leaning on the majority of the outer edge of the tyre. On this you can get on throttle earlier, you can lean on it through tighter corners harder, and I expected to come back in and honestly find this outer edge with a bit of extra pressure on it, but sure enough, Look, 911s, the rear traction's always been there. They've always had the weight over the rear axle. There's no shortage of grip there, but if you didn't trail brake previous cars right in, throwing the weight over the nose, and you got on that throttle too early, it would sort of wash out a little bit. This thing, yeah, I don't know where they go from here. Awesome. Six piston at the front with revised lighter weight carbon ceramic brakes. They save 17 kilograms of unsprung mass on the front end of the car. Look at that, the way that it goes through that corner when the back end does want to rotate. It's right there for you. And the sound of it. I mean, we're subject to the fuel particulate filter, and you wouldn't think it, would you? Listen to this thing scream up to 9, and then with this new GT3 specific instrument display on the front of me, in my peripheral vision, we've got these new shift lights, which give you a quick blink on the screen when you're at optimum RPM to be shifting gears. And the brakes are outstanding. Honestly, it sounds bonkers. A Weissach Pack 3RS would be fascinating to see how that compares. Wow. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm in equal measure lost for words as I am primed for concentration. The pace this thing will send you around this track is quite remarkable, actually. Absolutely phenomenal thing. And this as well, let me just set a further spot of context. This isn't running its highest downforce setting. Because we're going out on the road and back on to the circuit, this is running effectively showroom spec. Now with full downforce mode enabled, which is a manual adjustment with the wing and the front end, it will develop 150% more downforce than the previous generation GT3. Honestly. Okay, so there we have it. First impressions. Well, it certainly left one. The front end, I think the defining word for this car is grip. It's just a relentless surge, there's just this big wall of grip that you can constantly lean on, even through the slower stuff where the aero isn't necessarily working and it's majoritively mechanical grip. The double wishbone front end patch that it allows that tyre to sit on just gives you such incredible turn in, but more importantly, what you can lean on, the reserves of grip are just endless. I actually had a point where I turned everything off, and you actually have to really try to make this thing break traction once those tyres are up to temperature. Yeah, just an incredible thing. Now, thanks so much to Porsche for allowing us access to the car. Such is the way of the world right now that everything is pretty last minute and restrictive. So we're going to have a lot more time with the GT3 on the channel in the near future. So if you have any questions, comments, feedback, or stuff you'd like to see, please leave it in the comments below. Until then, rewind that, simmer yourself in that incredibly naturally aspirated flat six, revving out to 9. As always, thanks so much for watching. I shall see you next time. Ciao.